What's going on, everybody? It's Mike from Dungeons & Diving, and today we're diving into a fun little challenge in the realm of cybersecurity. As we navigate this cryptic landscape, remember to approach this knowledge responsibly and ethically. And if you enjoy this fun little journey, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll continue making some more of these fun tutorials for you. Today we're introducing Stealthy Toast, a hidden executable with a mysterious message. Our challenge is to not just find, but dismantle Stealthy Toast by killing the process and removing its persistence mechanisms. The failure scenario is if you are unable to neutralize Stealthy Toast in the specified time. A message box titled Stealthy Toast will appear, saying, "You took too long to find me," and the program just then exits gracefully. The point is to simulate having malware on our machine, but obviously I don't want malware on my machine. So, upon starting up on a computer, we're going to pretend that this message right here pops up. It says, "Mysterious message. Do you want to play a game?" Since I was already logged in, I just triggered this example manually for our demonstration. Unfortunately, there's no clues in the message box title, nor its message itself. We could start examining this by going to the Windows Task Manager, looking at the process list or details, but since this is a more simplistic example, we could find it there. However, there are ways to hide from the Task Manager. However, we're going to open up Process Explorer to see what's running on the machine itself. And to do so, we do need to open it as administrator so we have more permissions. Now, I've already had it open, so I just brought the window over. I've got a whole bunch of things on here. I left some things running. I've got the Brave browser running. I actually have some Unreal Editor stuff going. Hey, look, I've got iCloud going. So what we're going to do is inside of this Process Explorer application, we're going to look through this process list for things that look out of the ordinary, not these typical things that, I'm expecting to see. This is going to be different for each computer based on not only what's installed, but what it's actually running at the time that you're looking at it. So we're going to keep scrolling through this list. And remember how I said the process name was Stealthy Toast? Normally we wouldn't know that. But we see StealthyToast.exe. That might sound a little interesting. Alright, so when I click on it, you can see the bottom part of the window here. I'm going to expand that up. There's a whole bunch of things in here. You can see that it's got the Microsoft C runtime library. Hey, that might be a clue to what it's written in. Yes, it was written in C++. You can see other things up here. I have Stealthy Toast. My actual location for it, that's going to be irrelevant for this right now. But there's a whole bunch of other things that we can find out here. With larger programs, you're going to see quite a bit more things in this bottom window. So the only thing in this window at this moment in time is this path right here. So to get more information on it, we're going to go up to this StealthyToast.exe, right click on properties. We could have right clicked on the bottom section here, but when we click on it in the top section, we actually get quite a bit more information in this properties window that pops up. Additionally, if we suspect that this is actual malware, instead of clicking properties, we can take a shortcut and click on check virus total or search online to see if there's information about it. Right click here, check virus total or search online. Additionally, in this properties window, on the image tab, you can go down here to this virus total and click submit. I just clicked this process. You can see hash submitted. Once it's done processing and sending its data to virus total, you can see I have a score of 7 out of 76 for this binary. This is because I have personally submitted it to see what ranking it would receive, and I've actually submitted a few times. If you go to virus total, you can see that Cynet, Google, and MaxSecure all flag it as malicious. But this file itself is not malicious. The reason why it's being flagged is I have a hidden Windows application along with a very, very well-known persistence mechanism. I'm not going to give it away yet, just so we can continue on and discover how you can find this. And the reason for that is this method of searching for malware can be used for other persistence mechanisms as well. Now we're going to move on and look at more of the data on this tab. You can see the path to the binary. You can see that there's a command line, and these are slightly different. This one has an additional 5, which means that there was some sort of a command line parameter that was passed to this program. Hint, hint, that is how many seconds between the message boxes popping up. We can also see that there is an auto start location. It says task scheduler, definitely not a virus, disco dingo. That seems really sus in 3 different aspects of it. Number 1, why do I have task scheduler? It definitely says that it's not a virus. Should we not worry about that? And disco dingo does not sound like anything at all related to Stealthy Toast. I have no clue what those are, and those are 3 big red flags for me. So, task scheduler, task scheduler, task scheduler. What's a task scheduler? Well, it's exactly as it sounds. You can set Windows to run the task for you on a specific schedule. You can also have it trigger on certain alert events as well. Looking at the top of this properties window, there are other tabs that might be helpful if you want to examine a more sophisticated application. Since there aren't any for this app, we'll skip those, but feel free to look at other processes running on your system to get an idea of what you can find out here. So now that we know that this is a scheduled application, we can do 2 things. First, we kill the process. Preventing it from starting again is the second thing. You don't necessarily have to do that in that order, but for this example, that's how we're going to approach it. For trickier apps such as malware, there may be a persistence that creates a new instance of the application if you close out the old one. So in that case, you might want to kill the persistence first and then the actual running process. Alright, so I'm going to go over to Stealthy Toast, and the reason why we needed admin is so we can right click on it, kill process. If we did not have administrative rights on this, it might have rejected us from killing the process. Cool. So, on this note, Stealthy Toast is gone. That's part 1. Part 2, we're going to have to explore how the persistence mechanism actually works. Alright, so now we're going to look at a program called AutoRuns. It is part of the system internal suite, and it's going to give us a little bit more information on the scheduled task portion of this malware. When it starts up, it starts on the Everything tab. But when we were in Process Explorer, we noticed that it mentioned a scheduled task. So we're going to make life easier for ourselves and click on Scheduled Tasks. A tip you can use to make life easier for you when you're actually searching for an unknown malware is to go to Options menu, and you can click on this Hide Empty Locations, Hide Microsoft Entries, and Hide Windows Entries if you want. You can also do Hide Virus Total Clean Entries. I don't really care about that too much. But these are going to be the big ones, because if there's nothing to load, or if Microsoft or Windows has it signed, it's probably less likely to be problematic. So I have those selected, and what it does is it helps to keep this window a little bit cleaner with a lot of things that you don't really care too much about. So on this Scheduler tab, we're going to look for things that look out of the ordinary. And we noticed that before Disco Dingo was a thing, and you can see that's right here. I have some Adobe Acrobat stuff, Brave software, which is my browser, CCleaner, and just a few other things running on my system. What we're concerned about is this definitely not a virus, Disco Dingo. And, like I exclaimed a few minutes ago, that definitely looks sus to us. Other things you can look for if you didn't have that information from Process Explorer. You could look for things that are slightly misspelled words, or maybe a program that's launched from a directory that's not what it's supposed to be. Like, for example, if I had this Overwolf, you can see that it's in common files, Overwolf updater. If that was launching from the CCleaner directory, that would probably tip me off to something being wrong. In order to know where things need to be launched from, it does take a little bit of time spent getting to know the Windows system that you're on, including the software that you have. Okay, so the next step, once we've identified, hey, this looks like it doesn't belong here, you can look at the bottom here. A lot of times you'll have some information about if it's a file or something else directly related. In these other tabs, you can see a bunch of other things too. In this case, it doesn't give you a lot at all, because that's just how it is. So the real goal is when you right click and click on the option called Jump to Entry. So I'm going to right click, you can jump to entry. You can also jump to image if that'll take you to the binary on disk if it's directly tied. But this one is not. This one was a little bit different on how I had it set up. So we're going to click Jump to Entry. That is going to open up the Windows Task Scheduler. Okay, so this is that application that Windows looks at and says, hey, I need to keep track of different things that happen at specific times or based on specific events triggering them. In this case, we're just going to expand this task scheduler, the library, and then here's that definitely not a virus. Think of it as kind of like, it's like a folder. So like Microsoft has a bunch of stuff, Firefox has a bunch of stuff. Definitely not a virus. Somebody saying that they're not a virus probably means they are a virus. And in this case, we can see that the one entry here is Disco Dingo. All right, so I'm going to expand this window a little bit. We can look at different things on this general tab. It's just basic information. You can see its name and the location. This is the name and location of the specific task itself. These are directory paths in the Windows directory, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Some other things that you can see at the bottom down here, the option is run whether user is logged on or not, meaning that I can log out and this thing can boot up. The actual trigger for this one I set is it boots at system startup. So my computer runs, I don't even have to be logged in for this to happen, which is a pretty dangerous scenario for malware. Additionally, I'm running with the highest privileges, and this task entirely is hidden. So those are some big red flags that says, hey, somebody's trying to do some shady business. And in this case, my shady business is I'm trying to show you guys how to discover that this stuff can actually happen on your computer. So once we look at this basic information on the General tab, we're going to look at the Trigger tab. You can see that it runs at startup, which we saw up here as the trigger up here. When we look at the Actions tab, that's the big meat and potatoes. This is going to tell me what does this scheduled task do. And in this case, it's going to start a program. It's got a path to the program, and it's got 86400 at the end. I wonder what that could be. Now, this is how our persistence for this program works. My StealthyToast.exe will run when the computer boots up, and I will let you know that 86400 is a sleep function that acts as a timer. When the first message pops up, do you want to play a game, and you click OK? That timer starts, and then the fail scenario is 86400 seconds, which is 1 day. I set this way so that way I can have this tutorial running and not get interrupted with it, but I can manually trigger it by actually kicking off with that 5-second delay that I showed earlier. So, what do we do at this point? Our task is still running. The binary itself has stopped the one running process because we killed that in Process Explorer. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to disable the trigger at first. And it's good to get into a habit of disabling first and then killing it, because there are things such as DLL injection that have a code that's applied to them that they can tell that you just killed the process. That can in turn be used as a trigger to restart another process. So we're going to just go ahead and disable it. The next thing we're going to do is we actually want to remove it. Now, in this scenario, we could have just removed it, but it's just an extra couple clicks to do it this way, so I prefer to just be extra cautious. I'm going to go ahead and delete the specific task. It's gone. And now to fully clean it up, this is definitely not a virus folder. I'm going to right-click on that and delete that folder too. So we are almost done cleaning up the computer now. The first thing we did is we killed the process, so it was no longer running. The second thing is we identified and removed the scheduled task. The last thing we need to do is actually remove the binary itself. The problem with that is if you did not pay attention to the path that was called out, how do we know which file to delete? Now, we didn't close any of the programs. We could have just paid attention to the location of this binary, but we didn't, or at least we're going to pretend we didn't. So we're going to go back to our Process Explorer window, click on our Image tab, and if you remember, it actually had the path right there. So you could copy this address over here paste it into your Windows Explorer address bar, or you can just click on Explorer. Super easy. So I clicked on that. I'll bring the window over here, and you can see I've got the Stealthy Toast app right there. I'm going to just right click, delete it, and now once you delete it from your recycling bin, your computer is completely cleaned. The last thing I want to show you is in AutoRuns. This little green circle is a refresh. We're going to click that, go back to our scheduled tasks, and ensure right here there is no more scheduled tasks. So you can see that AutoRuns itself is parsing those scheduled tasks again, and it did not find our Stealthy Toast task. Thank you for joining us today in Dungeons and Diving. Until next time, happy coding